What defines a man? Remember when Supreme Court Associate Justice-elect Ketanji Brown Jackson couldn't define a woman during her confirmation hearing?
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
of
The dictionary defines a woman as an adult female person and a man an adult male person. Unlike Associate Justice-elect Brown Jackson's attempt to define a woman, male students at Auburn University had no difficulties answering what is a man. Here to explain what he found is campus reform correspondent and student at Auburn University, Jaden Hurd. Jaden, thanks so much for being with us. So you did some polling. What did you find?
So when I went out at Auburn University on behalf of Campus Reform, a project of Leadership Institute, to ask my fellow male students at Auburn University if they can define what a man is, they all were pretty, very clear, they were very clear out on the matter, citing biology as well as character traits. And nearly all of them agreed that identity alone is not what makes up a man. In other words, how you feel doesn't determine your sex.
Okay, Jaden, we're going to take a quick look at a sample of what you found.
Someone with an X chromosome and a Y chromosome.
A biological male.
A biological human male.
Courageous, leads the pack, strong, independent, someone you can rely on.
An adult human male.
I don't know why we're having this conversation. Historically speaking, nobody else had this debate. We've gotten really tolerant of a lot of things that really shouldn't be questionable. We're really progressive, and we've kind of lost our way with traditional moral values.
With the decline in Christianity, we see a lot of the decline of these traditional social norms.
It says that we live in a fallen world.
A lot of people would say all you have to do is identify as a man, and you're a man. What do you think about that?
Kind of strange.
I would say that's false. I'm a Christian, so I would believe that God created us male and female, and that gives us certain differences, biological and social.
It shows how we're in decline, that we just reject reality instead of living in the reality that God has given us.
Jaden, were you surprised? What was your reaction?
I wasn't really surprised by that because my personal experience with men is that they know this whole conversation is silly, but they are honestly too afraid to speak out about it because of the cancel culture and how society is right now. But I also was surprised because, bouncing off that, you can get canceled nowadays for what you say just by defending, what God created, male and female. And so when they were so open about their ideas and their views on that, it was surprising. But it also wasn't surprising because, you're at Auburn University and the men here are, they know the conversation is silly.
So you may have found something different, maybe at, say, Berkeley or a Northern school, Ivy League school. Why should this even be an issue, Jaden?
Well, right now we're seeing an attack on masculinity, honestly, an attack on God's creation as a whole. I mean, God made everything a certain way. But the left and, Satan, demons of confusion are saying men aren't men anymore. Personally, I feel like my value and identity as a man is to be a follower of Christ, a leader and a protector of the most vulnerable. However, I feel like the left has their eyes lasered on dismantling that idea and attacking that identity. I mean, you're seeing Leah Thomas, that UPenn swimmer, compete with, women's sports. And it seems like they're trying to normalize these things that are not normal at all.
So what has campus reform found elsewhere? Is this view only at Auburn, or do most male college students feel the same way?
Actually, campus reform has done a video on women giving that answer. And most of them actually said, oh, if you identify as whatever you want, then that's what you are. A good example, when I went to, when we had Alexa Schwartza go to Georgia Tech, and she asked about people identifying as a woman. And, they all were like, well, yeah, I mean, if Leah Thomas feels that way, then that's what she is. Obviously, we would disagree.
So there is a difference between the views of men, male college students, and women.
I would say so as a whole. Yeah, I would say so.
Even at Auburn?
At Auburn, I'm not too sure. I'm sure it may be a little different. If you were to ask women that question at Auburn, I'm sure you would probably get some conservative answers, a lot more than other universities. But I still think it would be that same way. I feel like they would come from an emotional standpoint, and they would probably appeal to that identity argument.
Okay, feelings and science. Jaden Hurd, thank you for taking the time to set us straight about the views of male college students at Auburn University. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.